today is the amazing, phenomenal, energetic Eugene Boikai. I welcome you to War Desk News.
Thank you for having me. I'm here. We in the studio.
Yeah. So you know how like you meet several politicians, you meet personalities, you meet activists, you meet advocates, and all of these people, they either have money, influence, they have all of this, titles and stuff like that. And everybody wants to be associated with them. People want to interview them and stuff like that. With me, it doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. There was something about you that was very authentic. But before I get into all of that, I would like for you to tell us a little bit about you. Who are you, Eugene? Where do you come from? Give us a background, background story about who Eugene Boikai is.
Okay. Eugene Boikai is just a simple man. Naturally, I was born on the continent, Liberia, West Africa, Liberia. My father passed away around 2 years of age, and I was blessed to have two mothers. One came to, African tradition.
Yeah.
Usually the man would come and set up shop in America and then bring the rest of the family. Where it was backwards with my mom and my dad. So my dad was like, he was like mad nurturing, according to the stories. But anyway, long story short, my mother set up shop. She came to America. I came here when I was around 2. Went back because the times was tough. My father passed away a little after I went back. So I was left in Africa, and my mom was over here. She only flew back to bury her husband just to come back to America and set up shop. So at that time, I was raised by one of the friends. She came and raised me, and that's who I knew as my mother. So when I tell that story, it's just, I have 2 mothers. So by the time I came back at 7 to the United States, and I've been here since, I'm blessed to have those energy. But at the same time, I take away from them, my culture is very important. So when you see the man, you're seeing the culture without permission. You know what I mean? It's without permission. So with that culture value, that's what holds who I am. Without permission. No permission. I mean, nobody can tell me I would be an African and on top of that, American at the same time. So I'm true definition of African American. And I hold those 2 key very serious. So everything you see is that it comes with that conservative value. So being into this being a politician, that's new. That's new. Because I always work behind the scene. I'm the type that you ask me, I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Whoa.
I will tell you. So.
That is interesting. Again, I am Magna Faith. We're on War Desk News with the amazing politician, entertainer. But that is a story for another day.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Somebody get the mic.
Lightning before thunder. You know how that is.
Hi, my name is Eugene Boikai. I'm running for Baltimore City Council District 12. Anybody that keep up with anything knows that I have the toughest job in this council.
Oh yeah.
I have the toughest district, one of the most dangerous districts. But you know what? Just like the,
Got shot.
Got shot, bullet grazed me. The other night, Friday night, I was out there canvassing because that's our, believe this or not, that's our strongest point. That's the strongest points of my campaign. I do minimum interview nowadays because my strongest point is being out there. And with the funding, I'll tell you, money is not going to stop me from my value. I'm trying to push on that. That's how the term starts. So it's personal with these Democrats, It's personal with me. It's nothing about money. It's about values. My value was broken. It was broken. It challenged my value. I saw a flaw in the system. That system was meant to destroy individuals like me. So when I saw that, God has to say, Right within that. But no, serious, thank you. I need you to calm down because I started to, thank you. Let's talk about something.
I just said
nice.
preach.
Yeah. No, but no, because I was starting to get into it. That's how personal it is. So the other night, Friday, believe it or not, this is how my district is. I was in the middle of a gun shootout. Gun shootout, recorded, Facebook Live. This is not acting, this is not talking point. But you know what I did the next day? I was right back out there canvassing. I was right back out there canvassing. I grabbed this, and they know, they coming out there holding that. The mayor came on my little platform. We don't get no airtime from Fox or this or that. Now, we ain't gonna get that. And I told these guys remember when I first started, I said, do your job. When you do your job, it's gonna come to you. Right now in District 12, the no Eugene Boikai, the mayor was on there. I had people coming, these candidates coming on the live feed to talk. This is how much we're impacted because we have to bring our value. They are weak right now. The people of Baltimore can be flipped so easily. Y'all just don't know how easy. The people need our values. They need our value before our party. So I tell everybody, I'm on the ground. I see the weakness of these Democrats. Put your party aside for now. Grab your values. Talk to the people. You will see how fast they flip. Because every time I speak to the people in that district, I automatically have their vote. They're trying to sidetrack and talk about my president. I bring them right back to the issues. And now a lot of people you will see from the black votes, our president is going to storm them. Because a lot of people are waking up.
Yes, they're waking up.
They're waking up because there's dudes like us that's going down there. And not just selling talking point, but actually taking their life and talking to them why your life is the way it is. Get out of that blindness of, oh, this racism. Oh, no, this is the greatest country in the world. Where a father like me that have a problem with the system can work her way through college and find his ways on stage and actually meet the president of the United States. That's my man.
That's because your energy is off the chain. Like your energy is contagious.
This event is important because when we first started, we were just black-faced Republicans going against the odds, and nobody took us serious. So me and the guys and the girls, we got together and we said, I told them this, we're going to change history, we're going to change the game, right? Because I looked at all of us collectively, and I knew that we was going to bring something. So it took some time. But because, as you say, the energy that we bring to it, a different way that we fight in the Democrats, they haven't seen anything like it. So actually being invited, even being interviewed, that was non-existent before. So we came a long way. So every interview, every time we speak to people that are just willing to hear the conditions and the problems in which we're facing, why we're here, is very.
Welcome back. This is your girl, Magna Faith, and of course, we're at the Wordless News Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, of course, in the United States of America. Let's talk about your personal life. You said you're not married. You said you're divorced. What happened?
Me and her, it's the growth of life. We grew up together, knew each other young, and as people get older, their interests, splits, people have different interests. So realized that both of our interests was not the same. We wasn't growing at the same pace or going on the same path. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So ever since you've not been married again?
No.
What are you doing? Scared?
Oh yeah. It's not fair, right? You think I'm a politician now? It's a different ball.
You got your black head beat. Now you're afraid. Now you're advocating for the man in Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm not afraid. I'm smart to the game.
Now you want to go in there and change the legislation to make sure that men have equal rights with women.
Oh yeah. I mean, because in all fairness, times has changed. The Democrats in this country, you know, you have their two-party system, and I actually, believe this or not, I hate doing the party line thing because I think that actually limits you, you know, what for your full potential. But we're just at a point in the country right now where it's just the left had just gone way off the chain from everything I stand for, my conservative value. And you know, in Africa, we are raised. Some people don't think about it. We are naturally conservative. That's not even an if, ands, or buts about it. It's no
Right.
if, ands, or
But
buts.
doesn't that bother you that, you know, in Africa we're conservatives, you know, our values, our principles are rooted in conservatism. But when we come over here, the majority of Africans are Democrats. Doesn't that bother you?
Yes, but at the same time, you got to understand this. Like I have the privilege of both worlds. Like I literally, Africans can't say nothing to me about being more of an African or how Africans. Like my mind just don't work that way. You know, as a member of the society bush in my culture, I earned my stripes when I was a kid in those jungles of West Africa into manhood. So I don't think no African's above me. That's how my mindset thinks. So we set in that pace.
Right.
That's my culture. On the American side, like, you know, I talked to I grew up with around a lot of black Americans. So naturally, you know, when they call themselves African American, believe it or not, it's just like I look at them as some that try to talk above me as a joke. Because I'm like, you don't have that DNA. You know, it's like a vampire. It's like you're not pure blood.
Right.
And especially when you have a democratic mindset of slavery. I'm 40-something years old, never been there. I tell people
You're 40-something years old?
Yeah.
You got any kids?
Yeah, I got 4.
Oh, I apologize. Why did I respond like that? You got 4?
4 of them, man. My eldest son is 22.
Running for office. So tell me, before you ran for office, what were you doing? What kind of job did you have?
I had my son general contractor's license, in which I did, you know, construction jobs, you know, small jobs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
But at the
when you
same
say
time-
construction jobs, smaller, what do you mean by construction jobs? Like,
Home improvement.
what were you doing? Like, were you the one holding the hammer, or what? You like
Yeah, that's
painting or what?
I'm, you know, you one of those boss that likes to be in the field.
Right.
I don't
Just
need
like
to tell
me.
you.
I
Yes,
know.
I'm not. You know, I got my politician hat on.
You definitely have to, but that's part of community service. Hello.
Yeah.
But so Eugene, tell me. You know, you're working hard. Your team is, you know, running. And you have boots on the ground. You have fingers on the keyboard. I mean, people are running helter skelter. You know, talking about this Eugene Boikai leader who's trying to change Baltimore. What has been the reaction of your governor, Governor Hodan, who is a Republican governor?
Oh, you know, if you know my name is my brand. I stand by my brand. I sat back and the reaction. Personally, I don't know the man, but as far as politically wise, inactive. I'm not Team Hogan at all. I used to be a heavy Hogan team member, but I'm one of those conservative or Republican that just feel disappointed in a lot of the action in which the way he's conducting himself. You know, we are basically out there doing our own thing. You know, and I'm not a beggar or anything, but when you go to war, you win. You are commander in chief.
Has he endorsed? Has he
No.
endorsed you or any of you?
No, it's not going to. That's not his personality. He will endorse more of the Democrats than he wants to even acknowledge. He does what the Democrat does. So look, if this man can talk about my president, I can speak about him. He's the king of our city. You know what I mean? Our state. That's the king of our state. The president is the king of our country. He's the king. So if he can express his opinion of my king of the country, I can damn sure express my opinion about how I feel and how he's ruling the kingdom.
So you're not a Hogan fan?
Was not.
Are you a Trump fan?
I'm a heavy heavy Trump fan. And you know what? The more, you know, we have advisors around us, and they will always say, you know, which is rightfully so. Do not run the Trump campaign. Run your own campaign because he does not need your help. That brand in the black community is like a stain, that's like the Republican. But at the same time, what I stand for, my conservative value, as I thought about it, you know, you got to think on the campaign part, respect certain things, and at the same time, the business side, as a personal side. Personally, I hate the fact of anybody telling me who I can vote for or not vote for. And there's a lot of people that was in my life, I say use that word loosely, was in my life, that are no longer wanted. Because they think that my political views belong to them. That's how I do it. And nobody tell the King Eugene Boikai what the hell to do. I treat everybody, gay, straight, whatever, the same as how you treat me. But when you come at me saying, Trump is a rich, I'm like, shut the hell up. Get the hell out of my face with that nonsense. You know, I'm a pure blood African. I take care of myself. I love my bloodline. I love my father to death. I will choose whoever the hell I want to vote for. Never been born a slave, never gonna act like a slave. When Eugene Boikai go to the grave, I'm gonna go and join my father as the son of a king. You know, so I would do and choose whatever I want to vote for. That's me. However you do your thing, you do it. So I tell people straight up, Trump, the more you say you hate Trump, the more I love it. The more I love him. So I brought Trump now to the front of my campaign, win or lose. Just because these Democrats, a bunch of slave-minded individuals to me. You know, generals know how to conversate with other generals because we understand how strategy works. You can't talk to a soldier about, you know, complicated strategy move. It just don't make no sense. And that's how I think when I'm talking to anybody that is not talking about D12. Because I signed my name. That's my father's name. I carry that throne. I don't care how every African carry themselves. That's not my job. I know Boikai, James Boikai, the last signature of him, I'm going to carry his throne correctly. And I take pride in who I am. You know, so if you so weak-minded that you care if a white man or this man love or hate you, that's the whole existence, you do not deserve to talk to the general. You a soldier. So be gone.
Man, that is very, very heavy, man. Oh Lord, I need a minute to just like digest that and come back to life. But with that said now, Eugene.
Yes, ma'am.
When we look at the Republican Party as black people, what do you see? Now, there's this narrative that the Republican Party is a racist party. Now, you already beat down the racist narrative a while ago, talking about Trump. But do you see growth in terms of black people, you know, identifying with the Republican Party in the years to come? What are your projections with regards to, you know, African Americans, African black people, period, you know, becoming more upfront about their, you know, association with the Republican Party?
Life is just like, okay, everything you gotta make relatable. When I came into this game, right, because I have a hip hop background, and even as a musician, I did what I wanted to do. Everything I control, because I didn't want to sell my music out. Music was part of me. I didn't want to sell my image out. I never took on nobody else's name. I took on Eugene Boikai, the African master, the African where I was born, that chose to master his own existence. So even as a kid, all this political stuff that's been going on, I've been ahead on that party. Every party. You're gonna have people that are racist or so. I hate that word, but I mean it is what it is. If somebody love or hate you, you don't want to be a whatever. You know, it's just not something that's strong. But with every party, you're gonna have that. And even within our party, you know, I don't speak against our party, but I tell people, look, what's coming through, there's nothing they can do about it. So I don't hurt my head over that.
Okay, so tell me, Eugene, what are you bringing different? What are your projects? What are the changes you're bringing to Baltimore?
We do things. My whole key to everything, right? All of my plans, I'm upfront with people. I tell them straight up. If you look in my cards, it said community involvement, community empowerment. There's a long-term plan. My plan is long-term. You gotta understand where most people don't understand how city council even works. We're bringing new lights to this, right? Certain things a lot of politicians say, it's not even in their job description, but it sounds good. That's the political parts of things. Well, people accept if you have a plan for crime, you have a plans for this, okay? How many of that? I think, like I say, my mind think as a general, not a soldier. I'm going there and I looked at everybody plans on, the red line, late night, that's what I do. General, stay in the dark and look and say, how do you deliver this plan? How this person done? It's like, what has worked before? So my long plan for even cutting down crime, because that's one of my major things right there. But I don't bring it up front because every plans that I have is to reduce that. There's a genocide of young black men that I'm around. My district is one of the toughest districts. With that genocide that's happening, what more reform do you want to put on the books? The gun law are there. A lot of things are already they're already in play, but they're not being executed. They're not properly being executed. So reforms and everything is already there. We need to put people in power that are able to execute that. So with my first strategy of reducing crime, making sure the bad neighborhoods don't spill into the good neighborhood, is taking everything back to our traditional way. The reason why my campaign has been effective so far is because I am on the ground and I'm talking to people as an individual. Instead of just sitting there, oh, I'm a Republican, oh, I'm conservative, oh, I'm this. No, I'm Eugene Boikai first.
That's right, and that's something that is poignant, that is profound. Mm-hmm. That you actually live within that district. Am I correct?
Yes, I live within that.
Because I do know I've interviewed several politicians who are running for office but do not necessarily live within their district, mm-hmm. and that kind of bothers me because if you don't live within the district, how then are you able to relate to the challenges of the people within that district? But you do live within that district.
I live within the district, and this is why the parts of not being a seasoned politician comes in play. And trust me, I'm always telling my team, the reason why I said certain things the way I set it up, I said because I'm still a man. I said this is my plan long term, because my team have a long term plan. Some we reveal, some is not to be revealed. It's just by doing it, because you have people that, you gotta think like a general. You don't put out all your cards. So a lot of people are so out of touch. They think by having a political degree means that the district. No, it means you know how to sell people nonsense. If nothing is being done, I like to look at things as final result. What is the final results? If everything that these politicians knew worked, I wouldn't be running for office. I wouldn't. So if you look at it, at the end of the day, you can have a car that's broken on the side of the road. It looks good. It's brand new, got the sticker on it. But if that goddamn car, pardon my language, but if that car is not moving, what's the value of it?
That's profound. Living in that district, being on ground, having to experience what the people within your district have experienced, mm-hmm. What do you think is the foremost and urgent concern or issue in that district?
I'm going to tell you now, the fathers in the home. Fathers in the home, because everything triggers now. That's number one. We have too many young men out there that could be productive. As I explained prior, I was married by the time I was 19. By the time I was 15, value willing to go out there and try certain things and have a strong foundation, even with my moms, My moms had two different styles, and I always took from the African men, the alpha male, black males in the community, the white man with this. I took from every male energy because that's what I was. These kids do not have that type of, they don't have that. They're killing each other because they don't respect one another and they don't understand why they don't. It's a cycle. That's number one. Then you're talking about skills. The reason why I'm here able to stand on my own, let's start from there, is because I built myself to have multiple skills. From graphic to this to that. It makes you more independent. That you don't have to, if this person can't do this, media or do this, I'm able to get in there and do it. Those kids do not have that. So they're out there loud, selling drugs, doing this, and nobody has tapped into their talent. So those are one of the steps, long-term steps that I want to put in place. Grants, money, United States, and Baltimore City, we next to the Capitol. It's there. It's how to grab it, how to execute it. And I've already told my staff, once we take that seat, you will see Eugene Boikai. I'm not to be in the office. We are setting the example now of how I want to run. Putting good people around me to execute my vision, to point me in the right direction of what I got to do. I need to be on the ground, that's what I am. We got to give these kids trades again. We have to bring jobs back. When you start reducing the crime, then you start going into investors feeling safe to come in there to bring whatever ideas they have within your district. That creates jobs, because that's my main thing. As long as the residents are getting the choice first, not corporations. I want to work with corporations. And with my construction background, having a degree in that, we are able to sit down and talk, on a certain level. So I want to bring the jobs there. When you have these kids, even if there's 10 hanging on the corner, I can get 6 to say, House of Boikai is this or this is this. With a personal touch, that 6th generation, you don't say, to get into the workforce. You start producing into their community, it spills over. So it's a lot of work we got.
Right, it's definitely a lot of work now. And I'd like for you to finally look in that camera and tell the people of Baltimore why they should vote for you.
She voted for me because I'm James Boikai. No, honestly, once again, I already pledged to donate 30% of my salary. That's how I feel about this election. Because there's certain things that I want to get accomplished that's going around that's going to start a positive change action on long term. We don't need too much big policy. We don't need politicians selling them nonsense of anything. We need people that's going to get going around and get job done. I already displayed what I'm capable of doing. Just sit in this seat, taking nothing, and making it to the seat. You can make it see the president of the United States of America in one term. My first run. So that's the type of things that I'm trying to do. I want to have good, clean neighborhood for all of my district. A lot of people always say, why go to the toughest of this district first? Because you have to understand this. I want the cleanliness and niceness of this district, the organization. I want to work with those organizations to be an example to the roughest of this district. The roughest of this district are the guy, and we cannot forget the guy. Because I told people, if you don't take care of the guy, eventually it's going to spill into the good community. But I'm Eugene Boikai. Why vote for me? Because I'm here for District 12 to represent the needs of all the people. I'm the type of city councilman that I want you to stop by, call me, I will come and talk to you. Everybody have a different situation that they are dealing with, even if it's trash pickup. I don't care what it is. I want you to trust to say, Eugene Boikai will be my representative. He is going to go out there for, I don't care what my needs is. I don't care what the community needs. He's going to fight for me. And that's what I want you to judge me